am Cassandra Lawson,
And I'm Jessica Davis.
and we are here with the Sisterlocks Speaks podcast.
And we have a lot of information that we like to share to give you some upcoming podcasts that we're going to be rolling out within the next couple of weeks. And we are very excited. So, currently, we have coming to the stage Miss Celeste Geary, which is she's going to be talking about evaluations. And we have Miss Gretchen Johnson, and she's going to be talking about the Sisterlocks consultation and process. And then we'll also have a interview from Sabrina Davis, who's a CTA with Sister Locks, and she's going to be talking about how to find a Sister Locks certified consultant. And so, Cassandra, I would just like to get your input on your thoughts on how things are have been going within the community.
Well, I am super excited. I'm so glad everyone has joined us and to have the opportunity to actually speak to Sisterlocks consultants and clients. Uh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I came up with the name Sisterlocks Speaks because I feel like Sisterlocks has a brand, right? We all know Sisterlocks. This is the 30th anniversary. Sisterlocks has been around for so long. Some people don't even know that Sisterlocks is Sisterlocks, right? They think that
Right.
that it's other things. But what Sisterlocks does not have is a voice in social media. There's so many misconceptions about Sisterlocks, untruths. I don't want to call it like lies or anything like that, but you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so, this podcast is going to give us an opportunity to kind of dispel some of those myths, answer some questions, and you can hear directly from an official Sisterlocks source. So
Exactly.
that's what I'm excited about, and that's what I want to achieve with this podcast. Now, Jessica, how do you feel about being a part of this podcast with me?
Well, I'm very honored that you asked me to come aboard and co-host with you. There's a lot of things that our personalities mesh very well together, and the couple of podcasts that we've done, we've had so much fun with them, and I'm just excited to just be a part of the legacy, because this is something that Dr. Cornwell has allowed us to start up, and so just to be a part of the beginning of the whole situation and to see how many podcasts and videos and how many consultants and clients potentially that we'll have coming through, and to just watch the following just grow in numbers within the Sister Loss community. It's like you said, it's been over 30 years now, and still people are learning about Sister Locks as a whole. And so again, like I said, just to watch it grow is something that I'm very excited to be a part of. Yeah, so thank you.
Like, you're welcome. I couldn't think of anyone else I wanted to be my my co-host, because you are ride or die, Sister Lots, like I am. I appreciate that. Um, because another thing about this podcast, it's on the Sisterlocks Media YouTube channel, and
Right.
we're going to be having some, a few other media, social media outlets like Instagram and things like that. Um, I want it to be a safe space
Yeah.
for people who love Sisterlocks and you can be pro Sisterlocks, right?
Right.
And when I say that, that's not putting down any other locking technique, locking styles, practitioners who do not do sister locks. It's really not about that at all, right?
Right.
African textured hair is beautiful in all forms, and so I definitely support that. With that
Exactly.
being said, I am a sister locks consultant. I just a little bit about myself. I have been a licensed cosmetologist since 2000, and I found out about Sister Locks in 2006. I was
Mhm.
working in a shop, and there was a woman there, and she started doing natural hair. She's doing braids, twists, and traditional locks and sister locks. I didn't know what it was. So I walked over to her and I asked her, "What is that?" And she refused to tell me. She said, "This is Sister Locks, and my friend invented it, and yada, yada, yada." And me being me, I'm nosy, I'm competitive. I told my husband that same day, I have to take this class. And I didn't know anything about Sister Locks, and I just wanted to find out. And that's when I took the class that same year in November of 2006. In January of 2007, that's when I finished my first establishment.
Nice.
My client name was Courtney Carter, if I remember correctly. She still has her Sister Locks. Hey, Courtney. And but after I finished her establishment, it took me 2 days, and I quit my job. Uh,
No, we're going in.
Girl, eat too much. I don't suggest that you do that. So I quit my job with one client, and I've been doing Sister Locks ever since. You know, um, at a later date, we can kind of talk about my personal Sister Lock hair journey, right? Because I did have Sister Locks for 8 years. But from that point, after I did my first client, I got certified in 6 months. So in June of 2007, I became certified. 2 years later, I became R certified, meaning that I was able to teach people how to tighten their own locks.
Right.
So I did that. And that was pretty much it as far as what you could do in Sister Locks, other than becoming a trainer at that time. And I became a trainer. I became a brand ambassador in 2018. Is that when that opened up, Jessica?
Yeah. I think, yeah, because yeah, June, mine was June 29th, 2018.
Okay, I think I did mine in March.
Yeah.
In we were in Oakland, and I was in the very first brand ambassador class. Oh, only close because that's the closest to me.
Right.
you know and so that was the new opportunity, and I just couldn't wait. The benefits of being a brand ambassador is amazing,
Yeah.
so I appreciate that. uh, but the program has been revamped since when we did, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Everything is online now, which is the beauty of it all because you don't have to travel the distance. Um, but I had fun traveling though. So
Yeah. Well, the requirements for being a brand ambassador has changed. They're higher, and they're evolving. It's something brand new. But the intention of the brand ambassador program is that a brand ambassador is someone that you can go to,
yeah.
and that they're going to do their best to do Sister Locks properly, right?
Yeah.
Um, but just one last thing from my story. So what we did that in 2018, and then I don't want to ruin your story, but when did we become trainers? We became trainers together.
We did. That was exciting. That was what, 2016?
No, I think it was 2019, because it was after we had to be brand ambassadors to become trainers.
I know it was in January. We got the
I think it was
call
January of
in
2019.
November. Yeah. Because we started out doing our paperwork in November,
Uh-huh. And what
December.
did you think when you got the email about that?
Oh man, I was excited because I was like, for me, I said when I took the class in 2014, and I became certified January of the next year. So it was like what, 9 months, and that was when we could mail in our information. And Dr. Cornwell was my evaluator, and I was so nervous, but I never thought that the opportunity to become a trainer would happen for me, because it was, we had so many master trainers at the time, and I'm like, I don't know if the door will ever open. And when I wasn't paying attention, that's when it happened. It was almost like when you take your focus off of that thing that you're looking at, the door just said, bam, it just opened. I was like, oh my goodness. And I was instantly nervous. And being a CTA, it was something very exciting. But when the opportunity came, I said, "Oh, I gotta try. I gotta do this." So, writing a 500-word essay, and it was telling why we feel like we should be chosen, and The one thing I always was saying to make sure that we, like Michelle always says, to stay ready to keep from getting ready, right? If I
Mhm.
had not saved photos or if I had not had any kind of paperwork or anything ready, I would have missed it. And so I was just so thankful that I had everything in line and I had the right words to say and the enthusiasm to do it. But when I got the email back and said I have been accepted, I was like, oh, and it was so quick after that. So we got the okay, got ready to go. And just the whole thing in a nutshell was just so fascinating to me. And to be in a room, we had what, 17?
It was only 11, Jessica.
Okay, 12, 11 of us. Okay, 17 for the last group. 11 of us. And when we just got together, it was just like, a whole sisterhood. And I was so fascinated with Dr. Cornwell being our trainer and getting to meet her. Like, there wasn't the first time that I've ever met her, but to be in that setting where she was actually teaching me and teaching all of us how it really goes down in her eyes, along with Michelle being there to train us and to come down and to see, because that was the very first time I met you in person. And so I remember, after we had our first day of training, the night we came downstairs to watch you do the Sisterlocks, all things Sisterlocks class. And I love the way you taught. I love the way you brought forth the information. And it was just your whole appearance that just made me be like, okay, she is an amazing person. And, just to see how you were teaching in full effect. And because you had been already teaching before. So it just brought it all out into perspective for me. And I said, I love her, the way she operates in the space. And so I was just very thankful for all of that. But the class was just very intense, you know, because guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be training the future Sisterlocks trainees on how to become, certified in this arena. And so I was just very happy. And I know I'm just rambling off, but I was very excited. Yeah.
No, look, I understand. First of all, let me clarify. Before my official Sister Locks training, I called myself a bootleg trainer, meaning that I took so many refresher courses that when I sat in on the course, they just let me help teach
Yeah.
the class, teach
Yeah.
some of the class.
Mhm.
So I've had the opportunity to sit in with classes with Dr. Cornwell and with Michelle. And the funny thing about being able to assist Dr. Cornwell is that that's when she was still a full-time professor.
Oh,
So
nice.
occasionally she was maybe running late for lunch, just like 20 minutes or so. And she would call me. She's like, Cassandra, can you start the class back on time? And she would let me do things like minding your business.
Yeah.
So that's really easy with me doing such lots as long as I have and being able to interact with the students. So that was my early stages of training. And my 500-word essay just said, I've always wanted to be a master trainer. That was it. Because that was my goal since I was a trainee. And I work at home office. So I do get to see Dr. Cornwell. And over the years, I started working in home office in 2016. I think it was, or 2015. And so I was very dramatic because, like you, I didn't know when I was going to have an opportunity
Yeah.
to become a trainer because we don't know. It's a secret when the next class is going to happen. And so occasionally when I saw Dr. Cornwell or when I had a chance to stand in front of the class and teach, and just imagine me up front, not really knowing what I'm doing. And in the back of the room, there's Dr. Cornwell, Celeste Gary, her sister, she was the first certified consultant. Um, Carol, her other sister, who it was her first sister lost client, them just sitting in the back of the room watching me, and she would tell me, you are meant to be a trainer. And I would say, Doctor, if I never become a master trainer, it's okay. Because I didn't know when it was going to happen.
Right.
So I was able to do that, but I became a trainer with you. And about that all things sister loss class, let me tell you, that was my first time doing that. And that was a really fake it till you make it moment.
And you did like a pro.
When you look good, you feel good. So I have my little teaching outfit on. Any of my students have been in any of my classes, they know my Sister Locks uniform. My husband said I look like a, a Hogwarts teacher who specializes in the art of Sister Locks, as we called it.
There
you
you
know,
go.
and so that was my early experience of being a trainer, and it's just been a wonderful road, to be on you with our other trainers of our class. We've had amazing trainers that became before us, all the master trainers, that you were mentioning, master trainers and CTAs. We have different levels
Yeah.
of trainers, but now we
Mhm.
have a whole new group of trainers. Our training staff has doubled. Can you believe that?
Yeah, in large numbers.
Large numbers. So I think their class started out at with 17,
17.
17, and I like, ladies, don't get upset with me. I think they're at 14 now.
Yeah.
Um, and so they're in the process. I think the majority of them at this point are official. They're no longer ATs, or training associates. Now they are certified training associates, and they're working towards upping their skill level and having their classes at their locations
Yeah.
and things like that. So that is very exciting. I am proud of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Super proud because they did it in an online setting, blended versus the way we did it. Even though they got to come in person, but they're learning still in an online, the Zoom community, which we are using, for our recordings. So the things for them is much different, but they came in and they did their thing, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do, in the future. Yeah.
With expanding our classes. I think we kind of glossed over this. Jessica, how did you get into the beauty industry?
Oh wow, I've been a cosmetologist. I've been in the beauty industry for about 20 years now. I'm a licensed master cosmetologist and a cosmetology instructor. And I've always had natural hair, except for a little color here and there. But hair has always been my passion. Loving it, doing it, watching it grow. So I'm also a certified trichologist and a board member of U.S. Trichology Institute in New York City. But how I got in with Sisterlocks, so I was tired of having natural hair, and one of my friends, she took the classes in '97, and I'll always be in the salon with her because that's where I kind of started out from with her, watching them do hair. But when she took the class, it was like, oh, wow, I'm doing this thing now called Sister Locks. I'm like, what is that? And she's like, oh, it's the locking process and it's a whole system. It's this, it's that. And can I do it on you? And I was like, okay, this will be great, great to do. And so I let her, and it was like a 3-day process of getting my hair locked. And she was still fresh and brand new, and so I don't think that she kind of grasped on all the things that were I was supposed to be doing. So the information kind of glossed over, and I wore that set of locks from '97 up until 2008 when we relocated to Hawaii. And so I combed them out. That was that process where, when they say it's a tedious process and you don't want to get them if you're going to just comb them out. But I had worn them long enough to where I was like, all right, I'm going to do something different. So I combed them out. And so when I got back from Hawaii, we were there for like from 2008 up until 2014. So
Mhm.
I got back to the mainland. We moved to Georgia at the time. And so one of the Sister Lots consultants, she was let me back up because that was 2013. Um, I went into the class with natural hair. And so I was the only person in my class with just my afro. And I was like, all right, I gotta do this because how am I gonna get clients? But I'm thinking you have to have sister lots, but no, it's not that serious. You have to just be a person, and love of sister locks and clients will come. But After I got my locks established, well, I did the class and I became certified and I got my locks established and I knew what to do. I knew all the things at that point. And I was like, oh man, I know the starter shampoo. I know the starter kits. I know I'm going to braid and band my hair. I know all these things. And I was excited this time more so than I was the first go around. And so getting into the community, becoming certified, and gaining clients. My first client as a trainee, her name was Katinka Butler, and she still has her locks to this day. My second and my third clients, and it was phenomenal for me. But was I nervous? Of course I was, because I was learning something that was out of the realm of what I was used to doing, natural hair and colors and things like that. But I have gained so much more within my repertoire in the industry since I became certified with Sisterlocks. Just because I wanted to make it a one-stop shop for all of my clients, and even those that are not my clients, to be able to discuss with them the ins and outs of hair and the health of hair. So I decided that I wanted to go into the nutrition department, getting into nutrition, becoming a health coach, naturopathic wellness practitioner, a drug list practitioner, because, I want to do holistic. So I went into all those arenas, and now it's like everything has come together as a whole within the Sister Lots community, because I just like to educate people, on going deeper into it, because you have sometimes all clients don't have healthy hair. And the beauty that I find within Sister Locks is those clients that do not have the healthy hair, once they go through that process and 6 to 8 months down the road, we get to watch that hair just transform into beauty. And the clients are now feeling themselves and they're loving everything about their hair, thanks to the Sister Locks, the gift of Sister Locks that we give to them, and the extra things that we can add along to that. I like the one stop shop because I can kind of stop my clients from having to go into the doctor's office for things that are hair related, And so I'm thankful for that with Dr. Cornwell and the trichology analysis program that she created. That will soon be coming back into play again for all of the ladies that don't want to go into the trichology arena. So that's how I got into it. This is why I love it. And everything is just so, it's big. It's like we're doing everything big, and I'm just excited for the opportunity to watch this thing blossom even more. So that
I
was the
just
short version.
the condensed version, right?
That
It's
was
like
the condensed version.
after we're doing hair so long, it's like there's so much, and so we try to well, I try to keep it short,
Yeah.
keep it simple, and we can maybe go into some more of those details in um, a later podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, I just want to add another goal of this podcast is to just help uphold the Sister Lock legacy.
Yeah.
You know, when Dr. Cornwell is just she's such a real person. Uh, when I think of her, she's definitely um, business minded, but not from a place of being like ruthless, right? It's not about the dollar, but to be able to work with her and see her in action, really how she recognizes how everything that she does with the Swat company, how that affects our Sister Locks consultants, right?
Right.
Their ability to be able to have their businesses, whether it's part-time or full-time, and meet their goals. It could be just to make a little money on the side, or it could be to replace their income, send their children to school,
Yeah.
etc. Right? And so the effect that Swats has on the individual consultant, whether it's trainee, certified, or brand ambassador, etc., that affects our clients. You know, so when we think about the store's clients, it's very important that um, that the clients get what they pay for.
Yeah.
That's how I feel personally. But that comes from Dr. Cornwell. So that rambling is just to say that, and my goal is to continue to make her proud, right? to represent the Sisterlock brand properly, but also be that voice. Sisterlocks speaks, so that the next generation of consultants or clients can have a place where they can get positivity, the right information, so that they can have uh, amazing Sisterlocks journeys, you know.
Right.
And if their journey wasn't the best, that's okay. You know, there's I always tell people when it comes to clients, if there's hair, there's hope,
Yeah.
right? So if it's their second set, sometimes that happens. It's okay. And then also sometimes they may have just had some issues, right? They have a bit of breakage and things like that
Mhm.
happening. I'm like, but you have hair, so there's hope.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
take you back to the basics and get you going, and hopefully be able to change the directory of your sister lock um, journey.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, before we go, Jessica, is there anything else that you want to add or you want our viewers to know?
Well, I just want them to stay close to the community. Visit the sisterlocks.com website if you have any additional information. Make sure that if you're in the market for getting Sister Locks established, that you go and make sure that the consultant, trainee, or certified consultant is listed on the sisterlocks.com website. And just make sure you ask questions, making sure that everything that you have the need for is being provided within that Sister Lots consultant, be it a trainee or a certified consultant, and ask questions. Feel free to always follow our Sister Lots Speaks or Sisterlocks Media YouTubes. Um, Cassandra, we're going to have the TikTok, right, and Instagram, and so just stay in touch with the community and be in the know. Stay on the lookout because we have a lot of things that are going to come your way, and we don't want you to miss out on anything. So yeah,
I agree. I just want to say thank you for everyone for joining us and listening to us rant.
yeah,
Uh, us talking and chatting like things that we normally do, right? But to come, just like Jessica said, we will be doing some interviews with an amazing, consultants, trainers, uh, uh, but also we want to get some clients in there too and get their perspective
yeah,
because all of that is part of the Sister Locks family, part of your journey, and what is important for us to move forward, right?
right.
So I just want to say thank you for joining us. We're going to sign off
Ah,
and feel free to write a comment down below. Let us know about your journey, how you start in Sister Locks. But remember to keep it positive, keep it cute, because that's what I feel like Sister Locks is all about. And that's the message I try to spread and subscribe. See you there.
yeah.